All right, hello and welcome back. We're here for our some nitric oxide release. We're gonna get our body feeling really good. If you've got your B3 bands, we've already added air. So if you're on the recording, you can press pause, put some air in there. If you don't have any bands to use today, it's not a problem. You're still gonna get some benefit to move your body. So let's go ahead and come on up to standing. You're gonna wanna have a light pair of dumbbells. That's what I'm gonna be demoing with today. Or if you know those long TheraBands, how to use those can work as well. But as I mentioned, I'm going to demo with our dumbbells today. But first, let's just do a short little warm up here. We're going to start with some hip circles, standing tall. Go ahead and circle those hips around, loosening up the low back and that hip area. Good. And then after about 5 or so, go ahead and rotate the hips the other direction. Fantastic. All right, from here, widen your stance. We're gonna do a behind the back stretch to open up that chest. We have some elevated push-ups coming up in our first circuit. So you're gonna go ahead and try to interlace those hands behind the body, extend the elbows, lift that chest, and then a soft bend in your knees. More bend in those knees, Sharon, send those hips back. Yep, and make sure your feet are well outside the hips so you have a really broad base of support. Breathing into the back for about 2 to 3 breaths. And then when you're ready, breathing in, push those legs and stand nice and tall. Whew, good job. Add a little side step as you swing those arms side to side. Wonderful. All right, we're going to get ready to start with our first circuit. We're going to be going through these exercises 3 times through. So if you're not familiar with them, you could always use the first round as a bit of an introduction. You can use a light weight if you'd like for this first one. We're going to walk the feet in. It's going to be our lowering the weight to the floor or reaching towards the floor and then bringing it up to overhead. So as I draw my stomach in, I'm going to send my hips back, slowly reaching down towards my feet. And then I'm going to push through my feet, standing tall, curl the weight to my chest, and then push it up to overhead. I'm bringing it down, and that's our movement. So I'm going to demo fairly slow here, just so that people can be focused to warm up the body. But if you feel strong, you feel warm and want to move faster, you're welcome to it. So I curl it to my shoulders, raise that weight up to overhead as I squeeze the tush. I'm going to take it through about 2 more times, holding that weight close to the legs. Oh, good. Sharon, keep that back a little bit flatter. So we don't want to round the spine. We want to practice that deadlift position with it, pushing the hips back, keeping the chest nice and tall. Good. Squeeze and press. Wonderful. From there, you can still hold that weight if you'd like, but now we're going to walk the feet just about hip width apart, moving into our half squat with our front raise. So with a soft bend of the knees, I'm going to push my knees wide, sit back into those heels, and then I'm going to raise my arms or that light weight up in front of the body. Good. So straight arms, knees push out. Light weight, emphasizing, or just raise your arms up. Good. 15 seconds. Wonderful. We're going to pick up the speed as we move through, but right now, just kind of warming it up and shake it out. Going to your elevated surface next. You can use the back of the couch. You can even use a wall here. I'm going to use my box that I have for the elevated push-up. Really key for this to be an elevated push-up, because then you're going to get more of a challenge for your body, but be able to do nice, smooth reps. So when you're ready, you're going to draw those elbows into the side. Try to engage that lower body. So I'm trying to flex my thighs and squeeze that tush as I move up and down. Drawing the shoulders back along the rib cage. Strong push. Very good. Yes, make sure whatever you're leaning against is nice and stable. It helps to put a chair against the wall. Good. 1 or 2 more. And walk it up. Our next exercise, this is our last exercise of this series, is going to be that bicep curl. So you can go back to your light dumbbells. You can even hold just 1 dumbbell here by each side. Elbows into the sides. And then we curl from there. A lot of the same areas to focus on that we talked about the push-up, at least for the lower body, where I can kind of flex my thighs, squeeze that tush, keep that blood flow moving in the lower body as we pump up this upper body. I'm trying to extend those elbows all the way down, flex those elbows all the way in. Good. And continuously breathing here. Breathe into lower, breathe out as you curl up. Last one. And rest. All right, that completes that first round of that circuit. We're going to go back to that ground to overhead starting round 2. So remember, we're going to have a long spine position, feet just underneath those hips. And then when you're ready, reaching down into the shoulders and then up to overhead. Yep. And then tune into your body. What pace feels appropriate? Speed is great, but not if it's going to irritate your body or provoke any kind of injury. But if you've been doing this a lot, you know your body well, you feel strong, then move at that pace that challenges you. Hinging the hips back into the chest. Looks great, crew. Nice job, Diane. There you go, Sharon. That's looking better. Hips straight back. 1 or 2 more. Down, up. Squeeze the booty as you reach up to overhead. See my last one. We've got our half squat with the front raise next. With or without weight. I'm going to show without weight this time. Feet about hip width apart. And then when you're ready, we reach up. We're not going as deep as we can in the squat. Instead, we're staying this upper portion to get a nice pulse through those legs. Knees push wide, push through the ground. Squeeze and stand tall. Good. Keep that nice rapid breathing. Breathing in, sitting back, breathing out, standing tall. Good. And then just like we talked about on that last exercise, you can speed it up or keep it slower. 10 seconds. The faster you go, the more you're going to feel that burn. Smile through it and keep breathing. Super. Headed to your push-up station next. Elevated push-ups. One thing you want to know on your push-ups, we tend to wing those elbows wide. Keep them in close to the side so you can protect those shoulders. One hand underneath each shoulder. Draw the stomach in when you're ready. An alternative to the push-up could be that top of the push-up, holding that plank position. So if you don't feel quite strong for those push-ups just yet, hold solid at the top of the push-up. All the things we've been talking about, squeezing the thighs, squeezing the booty, holding that midline nice and neutral. Good. Maybe one more. Wonderful. And back to those bicep curls. End of set 2. Draw those elbows into the side, soft bend the knee when you're ready. Curl it up and in, all the way down, and then right back up. Again, nice pump in that upper body. Keep that lower body engaged. 10 seconds left. And 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good job. We're just going to take a short rest. If you need more, feel free. I'm going to keep holding on to the same weights I just used for my bicep curl, and I'm going to use that for that ground to overhead. So when you're ready, I'm standing tall. I'm going to send my hips back, lower those weights either all the way to the ground or towards the ground, curl them into my shoulders, and then press high to overhead. Long spine as you send the hips back. Push through the ground as you stand tall. Curl and drive high to overhead. Really be cautious that as you press up to overhead, you're not overarching your spine. So it helps to really think about pulling the belly in, keeping the front of the rib cage tucked down, and then squeezing that lower body. Good. Last one. Wonderful. Switch it out for one weight or no weights. Back to our last round of that half squat to the front raise. 2, 1, and we're going. Sitting back, standing tall, good. Breathe. You want that full foot to be in contact with the ground. Heels are pushing down. Big toe is pushing down. Those 4 little toes will tend to follow. Woo. Good, couple more. And final round of push-ups. Make your way to your station. One hand underneath each shoulder. Walk the feet back. 2, 1, here we go. Strong lower body as you move smooth through that upper body. Avoiding those elbows from winging wide. Think about drawing them back behind you. And then turn your gaze right between the arms so that head can be nice and neutral as well. Almost there, 10 seconds. Woo, 2, 1, and into our final set of bicep curls. Draw those elbows into the sides, soft bend in the knees. And 30 seconds starts now. Woo! Gonna have a short rest break after this exercise, so hang in there with me, keeping those knees softly bent. Draw that chin in as well. Sometimes our head will start to push forward. So think about drawing that chin back as you keep those eyes up. Halfway through, friends. I'm feeling that pump. How about you? Woo! Smile through it, moving through it. Maybe a couple more. And all done there. Woo! Set that down. Give yourself a little applause for that first quarter. First half. Let's grab a quick drink of water. Coming up next, we're going to be working some dumbbell rows. One arm. In between sides, we're going to be either doing a march or a running high knee. So I'd like to stretch our calves a bit. If you have somewhere that you can prop your heel down and toe up, we're going to get a little stretch for the calves. Heel down, toe up, sinking into it here. Good. When you're ready, go ahead and switch legs. Heel down, toe up on that other side. After we do our dumbbell row of the second arm, we'll be doing either a lateral step over or we'll alternate with like some lateral rebounding hops if you feel up for a little hopping today. All right, otherwise, clear your space. We're going to start here in 15 seconds with that dumbbell row. For today's dumbbell row, we're going to show it from that stagger stance. So I'm going to have a long step forward, bring that arm that's without the weight onto the thigh. And then when you're ready, pulling that elbow up and in, turn your gaze towards that front foot. And we're just going nice and smooth here. Elbow draws high, squeezing that shoulder blade in towards your spine, and then reach it forward. Breathing out as you draw that elbow up. Trying to maintain that nice long neck position. Great work. Good postural work here. 1 or 2 more. And set that weight down. Coming up to standing, couple of options here. We can go a little march and punch for a little bit of a march. Or if you want something faster, drive the arms to the side. Running high knees, lifting those knees up. Keeping your chest tall. Excellent. Good. 10 seconds. And we're going to make our way back to the dumbbell row on the opposite arm. 2, 1, and rest. All right. Opposite side now. It's the weight that's holding the weight. The arm that's holding the weight. Opposite leg steps forward. Long spine as you come down to rest that forearm on that thigh. And 2, 1, here we go. Once you know that movement, turn your gaze so you look forward that front foot and draw that chin in. Elbow nice and high above that torso. And we're just flowing through this here. Reaching forward. Draw that elbow up and in. seconds. 2, 1, and pause. Good job. Make sure you have clear space. Standing tall. You take a full rest here if you want to catch your breath a little bit, or if you can keep it moving here with me, go lateral stepovers. If you want a little bit more bounce in your step, up and down, up and over. Woo! This is the end of set 1. We're going to go twice more. All right, back that dumbbell row on your non-dominant arm, starting in 10 seconds. To the side that's holding the weight, the opposite leg, long step forward, draw that stomach in as you come down, forearm to the thigh, and when you're ready, here we go, chin in, looking for that front foot, making sure that heel is planted into that floor. Breathe in as you reach forward. Breathe out as you draw that elbow high. Good. Squeeze that shoulder blade in towards your spine, building that strong mid-back posture. 2, 1, and rest. Setting the weight down, coming up to standing. This is where we have the option here, that march and punch or that running high knee. Super. Driving the arms to the side or nice high punch. 10 seconds left. Catch my breath here a little bit with this march and punch. Feel those arms pulsing. All right, let's get ready for your dominant side. Back to that dumbbell row. Standing tall. Opposite leg steps forward. And begin. Breathe out as you draw that elbow up. Breathe in as you reach forward. Halfway through. Stay engaged to that midline. Let's go about 5 more times, up and down. And rest. Good job. Up to the top. End of set 2, lateral step over. Up and over. Over and back. We do those lateral hops as well as an option. This time we're going to catch the breath a little bit, get a good opening through those hips. So as you lift the knee, lift the foot and toe up and over. Wonderful. All right, friends, we're going to go through it one more time. We'll start here in about 15 seconds with that dumbbell row on your non-dominant side. All right, let's go ahead and get into position, starting in 5, 2, 1, and here we go. Right into that breathing, breathing out as you draw that elbow high, breathing in as you reach forward. I always focus on that exhale because your body is going to instinctively inhale after that exhale. 10 seconds. Focus on that head and neck position, nice and neutral. And rest. Wonderful job. Last time through, the march and punch or those running high knees, your choice. Beautiful. Yeah, good job, Sharon. Nice work, Diane. Eyes up. Driving those arms. 10 seconds left. You're punching. Keep those hands high by those shoulders. Good. And final time on the dumbbell row. Coming back to your dominant arm. Big step forward that opposite leg. Long spine posture here. And go ahead and row. Breathe in on that forward reach. Breathing out on that pull, seeing how high you can pull that elbow above your torso. Eyes looking for that front foot, drawing that chin in.
You seem to be frozen.
Yeah, this happened yesterday. Yesterday, she just froze, and so I left and came back, and then she left and came back, and we were okay. Yeah, you need to unmute.
Should I leave? Oh, there she is.
All righty. Sorry about that. Good old internet. Not sure why that happens. But
Yeah.
I go ahead and took off the bands, and let's get a cool down stretching together. We're going to start with our hinge stretch. You can use a wall. I'm going to use the back of the chair. I'm going to go ahead and put you back on mute. All right. So this hinge like a door hinge, it somewhat mimics that down dog position that you do on the ground, but you get a little bit deeper opening through the chest. So set your feet about hip width apart, draw the stomach in, and you're going to send the hips back as you reach the arms out, supporting on the chair. On the back of a couch is wonderful as well, or like a kitchen countertop. And now I'm going to lower my chest between my arms. Think about drawing the stomach in so you don't overarch that lower back, and instead focus on your heart. Think about leading your heart towards the floor, drawing that chin in, and then try to breathe deep into the sides of your body. So see how far you can send the air into the lateral aspects of your rib cage. On the exhale, if your body feels like it wants to go a little bit closer to the ground, then lower that chest down just a hair. Let's go 2 more breaths. And release. Wonderful job. Go ahead and come on up from there. We're going to do our tricep side bend next. So from standing, we're going to take probably your right leg. You'll step it back behind you, draw the stomach down and in, and then raise that same arm up in the air, bending the elbow. So we're going to get a double stretch here. You're going to open those hips by shifting that back hip forward, squeeze that tush, and then with that same side arm, you're going to pull the opposite arm, pull that elbow back, shift the hip forward, and then making sure that you're planted securely through that front leg. You can bend towards that lead leg to really stretch out this whole side body. Breathing here. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can rotate, peering up past that elbow, looking up towards the sky or the ceiling. If you get to get outside today, that's always wonderful. When you're ready, gradually unwind. Shake out those arms, and we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Long step back, shift that hip forward, raise that arm up in the air, draw that chin in, bending the elbow as you reach around. So we get that shift of the hips, squeeze that tush, the trail leg, and then a gentle side bend. The option to peer past that elbow, add a little bit more rotation. And when you're ready, gradually unwind from there. Wonderful. All right, next we're gonna do our standing toe touch. Walk the feet in, draw the stomach in, hands on the thighs, chin to the chest. Now we're gonna allow that spine to gradually round. Thinking about rounding about 1 segment at a time, just going nice and slow, coming down to wherever you feel a stretch for yourself. Nothing to prove here, no forcing. If you feel comfortable to cross the arms over one another when you get to the bottom, you can cross those arms over, draw that chin in, and allow your head to be heavy. So you get a little bit of like use gravity to give your neck a little bit more length. Make sure you keep that soft bend in the knees, and then when you're ready, you'll push through your feet and gradually return back to standing. Beautiful. All right, we did a lot of those half squats today. So before we conclude, I'd like to take you into a deep squat. You can use a chair or a countertop to support yourself, or if you know how to come down nice and deep, that's excellent as well. But I'm going to hold on here, pushing my knees wide, sinking my hips nice and deep. If you're comfortable down here, you can go into our little prayer position. Hands in front of the chest. Moose, of course, walks in right at that time. And then I can use my elbows to push those knees wide. Keeping that chest really tall. Hey, Moose, how's your bone? Spending some time down here. Opening it all up. And then when you're ready, either use your arms to pull yourself up on the chair or whatnot, or reach straight out, drive through your legs. Good. Second to last stretch, quad stretch. So if you want to practice that balance, you can. Grabbing the one foot, pulling that heel towards your glute, and then holding that soft bend in the support leg. Good. Think about drawing the shoulder back on the side that you're holding your foot. When you're ready, release that leg. In between sides, it's walk the feet nice and wide. I lied, we're gonna have 3 more stretches. Inner thigh stretch, going into a little bit of a side lunge to lengthen out this inner thigh, reaching those arms out in front of the body. Then we'll come up to center, push the knee wide as you lunge to the other side. Good, let's go one more time each direction. Watch that the knee doesn't dive in, pushing that big toe down, guiding that knee out. It also can be helpful if you need to hold on. Hold on to the chair again. And walk it in. All right, and then finishing out that quad stretch on the opposite leg. Lifting up, grabbing that opposite foot. One stretch that we're not going to get to today that would be really beneficial after all the push-up work we did would be a doorway stretch for your pecs. So later on today, when you stop and use the restroom, take a pause, place your forearm against the doorway, lean into it, get a nice opening for your chest. That's a great thing to do, not just once a day, but a couple times a day. When you're ready, release that foot. Hi, Moose. And we're going to finish with a couple standing cat-cows. So for that, you're going to have the feet relatively close together, draw the belly in, slide the hands down the thighs as you push your hips back. And now when we exhale, we're going to roll those shoulders forward, draw that chin into the chest. And when we inhale, we're going to just softly arch the spine, drawing the shoulders back and down. Good, about twice more. Breathing out, rolling it all forward, down and in, breathing in. Last time, breathing out. Breathing in and shake it out. All right, friends, give yourself a little round of applause. Acknowledge what you did for your body today. Showing up, moving your body, keeping yourself strong, keeping yourself vital. And we hope to see you all next time. Take care.